It's only a Mondeo. Well, what's wrong with that? Mondeo is one of the best cars ever made.
Do you know what? That is. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Hope you're all well. Now, went to auction last night. Didn't buy anything. Let's not talk about that. But I saw Dale, a car dealer friend of mine, who is actually one of the few people that has been on the channel before. And he is the guy that I got the little spearmint green Fiat 500 off. So he's the guy that owns the Fiesta Centre. If you want to meet him, or if you want to see that Fiat 500 video, it's the one, well, Fiat 500 part 1, I guess, whatever it is. I can't remember which one it is. But he's the car dealer that we got that little Fiat 500 from. And he should be, as long as he gets time, bringing over one of his cars today for us to sale or return for him. And it's a bit, I mean, it's an old car. It is an old car now. And you'll already know what it is because I've put it on the thumbnail, I'm guessing. But he's bringing over his Jaguar X-Type Estate. Now, straight away you think, oh, Jaguar. Ooh. And it's do you know what? I hope this video isn't planning on being a massively long video, but I know what I'm like when I get chatting, and I know what Dale's like when he gets chatting. But Dale absolutely loves this car. And I tell you what, I'll be honest, I sort of love him too. And I've had one before, and I had one for a smoker. A bit like this Mondeo, actually, when you're in the trade and you have a car that you don't really care about and that just sort of gets you about and you leave it anywhere. You call them an old smoker. It's not because they smoke. Some of them smoke, but it's not because they smoke, but it's just what you get about in. It's just a car you don't care about. And Dale has really grown to love his one, and I really love my one, actually. You know, they're not the best cars in the world, but they've got their flaws. But for the value of them, they're good cars. So I say, well, actually, in a particular model with a particular engine, they're good cars. You get the wrong engine and they're really not. So I tell you what, we'll get to the site now, and hopefully Dale will turn up in a bit, and we'll meet him again, and we'll have a chat, and we'll have a look at his car, and then we'll go from there. I'll see you in a minute. Here he comes, look. And there it is. Look at that car, look. Oh, shiny. Here he is.
Hello, mate.
All right.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. Look.
Yeah, sad day, mate.
It's
Sad day. I've got me black armband on.
I'll tell you what I'll do. Because it's a professional establishment around here, I'll go and get a couple of microphones so people can hear, and then we'll have a gas before it gets dark. So what I've done, I've done a little intro to this on the way here. Right. But it's probably not accurate enough to say how long you've had that car. A little bit of a background about these cars. Yeah. And then we'll just have a little bit of a gas about them, because I mean, I'll put a little picture of my one. Yeah. Because I had a saloon version of this car for a good few years, done 150,000 miles, and I loved that car. Yeah, brilliant, mate. Yeah, well, since 2008, when we had the banking crash, I bought my first X-Type. I had an X-Type on my drive since then. I've had one all the time, various petrols, manuals, estates, autos, and all the rest of it. This is the last one. I bought this when my son went to university in Edinburgh. Right. So I needed just a load lugger up and down, which it did for 2 years, and then he decided he was going to drive himself, which he did. I've then just used this sporadically during that time, and now it literally, this is as corny as it sounds, just doesn't get used. He now lives in London, so this can't go into London because it's not ULEZ compliant, and it sits on the drive and it just sits there. So time to go. But it's a brilliant car. But you say time to go. Yeah. How long have you been making that decision for? Because we spoke about this a year ago. Yeah, I was going to say. Easily a year ago. About 18 months, I reckon I've been iffing and ahhing. But it doesn't do him any good. And I've got cars everywhere, and it's just got to go. Yeah, unfortunately. It really doesn't. That's a shame, isn't it? It doesn't do them any good, does it? I mean, it's one owner in the logbook, even though I've had it all that time. Okay. 76,000 miles, full history. It's a one-owner car still? Yes, one owner still. Yeah. Is it really? Yep. I put 4 Uniroyal Rain Sports on it when I got it. You'll understand. They're a brilliant tyre. They are. I've got them on my Vito. Yeah, really good tyre. Quiet, smooth. This will do, going up to Edinburgh and back, this was doing 55 to the gallon, as fast as you dare drive with cameras and goodness knows what. Loaded to the gunnels with all these stuff and everything. It's brilliant. It is brilliant. And it's only ever let me down once. What was that?
blew an intercooler pipe off.
Okay. Oh,
The clips rust,
right.
and then you give it a bit of oomph, and it just blows the outlet port, just blew the hose straight off.
Well, I mean, they run quite a bit of boost, don't they?
So I'll tell you what, this is quite a fast car.
Look at, yeah, it is. Look how straight the car is, Dale.
Yep. It's got the normal X-Type Achilles heel.
What,
which
corroded rubbers?
These, yep.
Do you know what? Do you want me to tell you a really? I had one of these traded in.
Yeah.
And it
perfect rubbers.
It was a 2-litre diesel.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that one in a moment.
Because this is a 2.2.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the 2-litre diesel. This was hanging, this car.
Right.
It was hanging. And I sent it to auction.
Saloon or estate?
It was a saloon, British Racing Green, and there was nothing good about it. However, I had my black one at this point, and somehow I sent that green one to auction with immaculate rubbers, and I completely forgot to swap them over.
These are best part of 100 quid each now. That side, for some reason, hasn't suffered.
Yeah, they're perfect, aren't they? Weird.
And the other side has.
That's weird, because near side stuff on cars usually struggles
I know,
more, doesn't it?
I know.
I love them centre caps on it.
Yeah.
Look at them. How much? I mean, how much more?
They're genuine Jaguar off an F-Type.
How much more modern does that give them the look of?
That's only a small thing, but it does help.
Yeah, it does.
Do you know the best thing about this car? And I would not have a car with leather seats anymore without heated seats.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Heated
Absolutely
seats.
brilliant.
I love heated seats.
Yeah.
Too.
And everyone keeps saying, well,
really, we're getting old.
It's only a Mondeo. Well, what's wrong with that? Mondeo is one of the best cars ever made.
Do you know what? That is the biggest gripe when people say that to me. Yeah. They say, oh, yeah, but it's only a Mondeo. And I sit there thinking that Mondeo is a good car.
So my genuine Jaguar has broken down while my Mondeo X-Type is still going.
Yeah. Random.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. I can't believe how lovely the car is.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't fine-toothed it, but what a good-looking car.
The only thing that lets it down, it's got a bullet hole in the windscreen, but it's still the original screen. It's never been out, and I've just can't bring myself to take it out and put another screen in it.
Because what you've got, so you've got the potential of putting a new screen in it, all of the paint damage, which you know always happens, then the water leaks, then the rattles, then the or leave it and potentially have that happen again on your way home in a moment.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. Or if it gets a big crack across it one day, it's got to have one.
Then it's got to have one, hasn't it? No, I completely agree with that. The funny thing is about the difference between the 2-litre diesel in one of these and the 2.2. It's so vast.
Yeah, it is. A totally different car.
Yeah, it is. And you almost can't explain why.
Even when a 2-litre is sitting there ticking over, it's like you almost want to do that. Whereas this is just totally different animal.
Quite.
6-speed gearbox, faster, smoother. Why wouldn't you? It's just not the same car.
And lovely. How many miles has this one done now?
76.
See, lovely ones of these, they're going up, aren't they?
They are going up.
Because there's so few good ones left.
Yeah. Well, I had a guy, I sold him a car. The children were at school with my son, didn't know the people. He turns up in an absolutely battered one of these.
Right.
And he pulls it in, and I'm like, oh, I've got one of them. I said, have you had it long? Yeah, I've had it years. I said, what's the mileage? He said, I don't know. And he genuinely didn't know how many miles it'd done. So I said, do you use it a lot? Oh, yeah, I use it all the time. He said, I've driven all around Europe. I'm still driving it around Europe now for work. I go all 180,000 when we checked the mileage. Yeah. The driver's seat was had it. He said, that's never, ever, ever let me down. No, brilliant. Nice. And it was properly second hand.
Yeah. Unlike this one.
Yes.
That's my dad's car there, obviously. You've probably seen, I've told you about the Outlander.
Yes.
He is loathed to get rid of that car.
Yeah, I can understand
He loves that car.
I am with that in some respects, because there's so little money on the grand scale of things now. You've got a car there, you could pull up outside the Albert Hall in that, and it would still look all right, so to speak.
I would agree. It did when you just pulled up then.
Yeah. But I've got too many cars. I don't use them, and it's got to go, basically.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, let's have a quick look inside it, because so it hasn't got.
Well, it's a bit of a bizarre one, because it's on the logbook. It's a Sovereign, but as far as I'm concerned, it's not. It's a Sport, or a hybrid of a Sovereign and a Sport, because it hasn't got the wooden steering wheel, hasn't got the wooden dash. It's got the black. Piano black dash.
See, it's not a Sport because it's got cruise. So I would say this is a really good spec SE, genuinely.
Right. Yeah. There's no amp in the back or boom.
There's no sub.
Sub, that's the word.
So the steering wheel, that was optional.
Right.
So you can still get a Sovereign with a normal wheel, and you can still get a Sovereign. So the piped leather That
Yes.
was optional as well.
Right. Okay.
My one had both of them,
Right.
weirdly. But yeah, you're right. If this hasn't got... So Sovereigns did come standard
with a
It's
sub.
very clean, Dale.
Oh, this is my own
I
personal car,
haven't
mate.
got to do a great deal with this, have I?
No, I
Blimey.
told you.
Yeah, that should be a big old fat sub, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should, and it's not. But I mean, it's all, it's just how you want to find a car.
Yeah, mad, isn't it?
Yeah. Lock and wheel nuts in there, mate, just so you are aware.
And yet you still get a spare.
Yeah.
All that room there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you still get a spare. And so you should do with a car.
And this, I don't know if most people know about this, but I love this, and it still works.
Oh, they never work.
I know they don't.
They've
This
always
does.
failed.
Yeah, I know. On my other one, I had another one, and we.
Oh,
had
let's
to-
drop them down. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. But you've never used that, have you?
I don't use it a lot, to be honest with you, because normally you've got this across.
Yeah, but there's that one time where you need to stick a bit of wood through the back.
We
isn't
had
it?
to replace this micro switching one,
That's what normally
and you have
go
to
on.
drill it out in the glass. And my mechanic's going, if I break it, it's nothing to do with me. But he did do it
Wow.
because they're very clever. They work on this, like, I don't know, would you call it a concentric wheel or whatever? That little peg goes in there,
Right.
and that spins round to run the wiper. They're very clever. Look,
God, no wonder they go wrong.
yeah, but that's fine. It works fine.
So it's a one owner. It's got
Yeah.
It's got lovely history.
Proper
I'm guessing.
history.
Yeah,
It's got 2 keys,
nice.
sat nav disc. Not a lot of good to you when you're on the new bit of the A14 because you're actually in the middle of a field for most of it.
And so I think the only thing that we spoke about, which is very common,
Yep.
the front parking sensors no longer work, do they? And
Right.
that is because. So I'll tell you what the problem I had with mine. It seems like the estates suffer more with the condensation problem.
In the boot.
Yeah, and saloons don't.
There was no water in this, but this didn't work.
Yeah, it's
So
weird.
this is the original box.
Right.
So that does front and rear.
Yep.
The only one I could get at the time, because these are hellishly expensive,
Yeah.
the only one I could get at the time, second hand, was for rear sensors only, which is what it's got on it. So the front ones don't work. If someone wanted to spend whatever that costs, that's 2 10mm bolts and 3 multi-plugs, it's done.
And then the front ones will then work.
I've taken this apart and just the bottom of it's corroded.
Yeah.
Probably, if you were careful, you could probably clean it.
Right.
But that's the part number you need.
Yeah, I did exactly the same with mine. I was lucky enough to find one. I
And to
found
be
one off
honest
the
with you,
saloon.
I'm not overly keen on front parking sensors. They drive you mad.
I mean, she is the power plant.
That's nothing to get excited about as such. It's 2.2, but it's all original. It's a nice car, really.
God, it's clean under there, isn't it?
Mm,
It is clean. I nearly slipped up not so long ago
right,
buying one of I went to look at a petrol one of these.
Yeah.
It was at an auction,
right.
and I was walking around it because the 2-litre V6, they're like a 2.1.
I
aren't
love
they?
2.1. I had one of them, mate. What a smooth car. Mazda engine.
Yeah. Well,
It's a
the
Mazda V6.
problem with this one, it was registered April 06 and it was an auto. The car booked at 1,900 quid, and it was 650 quid to tax.
Tax it, yeah, and that kills them.
Yeah,
Absolutely kills them.
it would do.
Yep,
That's scary. A manual one
Yep.
would be 380.
yep.
Just
Which
as
is
an auto.
still enough, but that's palatable.
Yeah, it is,
to have
yeah.
a nice car.
Yeah, that isn't 50 quid a month on a
No.
direct debit, is it?
But the very first one I ever had was a silver manual 2.1 with the dove grey interior, and that was a beautiful car.
Yeah.
And I bought that December 2008, Colchester Auctions. I never make snap decisions, you know me. Car comes in the hall, thought that's rather nice. £2,800 sold. What have I done?
Yeah, right.
And it was 6 years old. That's all it was.
What a car.
70,000 miles. Lovely, lovely car. And that started the.
That started your love of Jags.
Yes, but you know what? That 2.1 was a much smoother car than a 3-litre or a 2.5 because they're permanent 4-wheel drive. That was only front-wheel drive.
Yeah, good point.
And it was so smooth.
Yeah.
Well, I had a 2.5 Estate 4-wheel drive.
Right.
Horrible,
Yeah.
harsh, just not nice at all. There's nothing wrong with it. It was just harsh.
You'd go for one of these all day, wouldn't you?
Yep.
This is everything is perfect about this.
It's even still got Stratstone number plates and rear window
Do you know
sticker.
what? I was looking at them thinking, I don't think I can put my company plates on that.
I wouldn't.
I don't want to spoil it.
No, I definitely wouldn't.
Stratstone's got a lot more oomph than
Cachet than you have.
Yeah, than my poor eyes.
Vision Prestige.
Yeah, I know, it's a bit harsh, isn't it? I think I'll leave them on. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do.
Yeah.
I'll do I'll do a tiny few little finicky bits. We'll get it up for sale.
Yep.
and then we'll see what happens. And
Yep.
hopefully, because of the sort of car that it is, you can only imagine that the person that's going to inquire on this will love it like you have.
Yep.
Because if you're going to spend, I mean, what is this? $5.5 grand car?
It
is
is.
it
Yeah,
for a
it
good
is.
one?
Yeah, definitely.
It's
Well,
because
I've looked. There's some on the internet now, 6s and 7s. Whether they get it,
but if you want one,
you'll never find one.
no.
When I drive away from here, if all of a sudden next week I have a pang and want another one, I haven't got a cat in hell's chance of finding one.
You won't. You're right.
No, I won't.
And on the other end of that, what can you buy for $5.5 grand these days?
Not a lot.
You can't, can you?
No, it's a 10-plate Fiesta.
Yeah. With what?
Done 90,000 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Mm.
So I tell you what, we'll probably wrap this up to a point.
Yeah.
We'll
Well,
say
good luck.
thank you for coming. Do you know what, right? I've just realised. Your missus is in there with my missus.
Yeah.
You turned up in a Fiat 500.
Yeah.
Last time you were on the channel, we were at your Fiesta Centre.
Yeah.
And you were still driving probably that Fiat
It was.
500.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for you and Fiestas, is it? Turn
Yeah,
up
but the
here in a
trouble is,
Jag.
mate, I can't afford to drive a Fiesta because selling them. I'm trying at the moment to build my stock for January.
Yeah.
I've sold 5 this month already,
Yeah,
which
well,
are all supposed to be for January, February, so I don't get caught up in all the mad rush that there is in a new year.
Well,
But they're selling.
unfortunately, I got hit with that last night.
Yeah.
I went to auction with 6 on my list.
Yeah.
Obviously, you get there, reduce that to 3.
Yeah.
I couldn't buy any of them.
No. The thing is, one thing, I've been doing this job a long time now, has become very clear. November is definitely the cheapest month of the year to buy cars from our point of view.
Yeah.
Because by the time we get into December, everybody's woken up and realised, crikey, January, February's coming. The whole wholesale world shuts down for 2 weeks, 3 weeks over Christmas. We've got to start panicking and buy cars.
Yeah. I am now panicking.
Well, you've got a nice Jag to have a
I
go,
have.
mate,
Happy
haven't you?
days. Exactly right. So, well, thanks for coming over, Dale. Thanks
That's all
for
right, mate,
bringing
no
it over.
probs. Good luck. I hope it makes somebody happy. It
Well,
should do.
Well, it's making me happy already.
Well,
Just sitting here.
I'll tell you what, seriously, if you drive that up the road, if you went home in that, you come back and you think, do you know what? I should drive that myself.
Well, I can't. I've got my trusty Mondeo, haven't I?
Yes.
Your good lady's probably scared to come out because we're
Oh,
on
is she?
film. We won't get you on film, don't worry.
Oh, I don't need to.
Well, you are on film right now. But
You're
I
on
can,
f-
I
you're
can
on-
edit it out though.
No, leave it on there.
All right, you're going to stay here. Well, okay. Well, thanks, Dale.
All right, mate, no problem.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll sign off for this one in a minute.
Yep.
And there she is, look. Sitting next to my dad's C-Class Estate. You know what, I haven't had a chance to put a price, or I've got to give it a bit of a clean. I've got to do a little bit of titivating to it just to get a couple of little things sorted on it, that's all. But I mean, that is a nice car, isn't it? That is a nice car. A lot of car for that sort of money. It's getting dark now. Tell you what, we're going to end it there. It was only a random one. I thought we'd get Dale on the channel again. I thought we'd get his car on the channel. So I will say, thanks for watching this one, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you like what's going on. Hit that notifications button. Give us a thumbs up. Stick a comment down. Especially if you've had one of these. If you've had an X-Type and you agree with what we've been saying, stick us a little comment down. That'd be great to hear. Sort of. I know we're not exactly talking about we're not talking about an Aston Martin thanks a lot, everyone. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye.